Welcome to the 2026 NASCAR Chat Series season. Bigger and better than it was a year ago. 14 regular season races instead of the 11 we did a year ago. The All-Star race at Dover will be the 5th time you see this series out in action. Entirely new field, really. Obviously, the chat cars stayed the same. At least in terms of who's in the field, barring a couple additions, which we will get to as this race does move along. But a really fun project. Designing every single one of these cars is as long as it took and as simple as most of them are. It was a lot of fun to get done, and now we get to see them all on track at the same time for the first time. And it is somebody that has had success in iRacing Chat Series that we have done in the past. Your Darlington winner in a new #1 Toyota in Squid. Designing them twice, yes. iRacing did throw me for a loop there. But your Darlington winner from a year ago in Squid will lead the field to the front row. Brayton Laster, who was a late addition to the field last year, is on the outside as we are about to go green for 200 laps at Daytona International Speedway to kick off the 2026 season. Complete 3 different leaders. I don't know what's going on with the ticker right now and why it says Evo's in the lead. It corrected itself. But Brayton Laster, Miss Airy, and Speed have led laps all in the early going. It's going to be more or less the same as a year ago in terms of who does claim the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps. I wouldn't expect the winner of that to have maybe more than 20. Just the way that the lead cycles around here at Daytona. Now, of course, and we talked about it in the Budweiser shootout, that the racing at Daytona much better than what we've seen, what we saw in the Daytona 500 a year ago, with the tandem draft really dominating the whole thing. be seeing any of that here tomorrow or here today, like we did last year, which is a good thing. However, they do still do the drop to the bottom and then get shuffled to the back thing, which is unfortunate. And we've already made it farther in this race without an incident than we did a year ago. Remember Gundy, who's sitting there in third, and Austin got together on just lap 2 of last year's Daytona 500. One thing we should also touch on is that stages return. As they did last year, stage points will be awarded. But for one, because of technical difficulty, and two, I think it'll be better anyway. There will not be stage breaks. We will stay green through those stages. Stage 1 ends at lap 65, 60 to go in this opening stage of the Daytona 500. Lap 65, 130, and then 200, the end of the race. Points paying laps here today. Smee's been out in front for a good bit, which is not what anybody wants to see. That outside lane not really doing much of anything right now, led by Lucas in the Hooters car. Not that much different for Lucas this year. I mean, he was sponsored by Hooters a year ago. However, now on a Ford, now the number 10 to actually match his username. 2025 Daytona 500 winner in Jordo getting pushed up the middle. Evo and Austin in tow. Front of the field, we did have a lead change. Dale Earnhardt Jr. to the front. Smee has dropped back to third on that inside line. Dale Jr. full time in the Bud 8 this year. Last year, kind of bounced around between the 8 and the 88. And a couple of the RFK cars already inside the top 10. You got Gundy in second, Miss Airy in sixth, and actually John Force sitting back there in 8th place, kind of leading the middle line for the moment. And another new leader. We'll see if it sticks at the line. It's the silver bullet of Sterling Marlin, pushed by Lucas. Marlin to the bottom, and he will come across the line to lead lap 8. We've got cars up at the front of the field right now, specifically Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Frankie Muniz, currently sitting third in the black and yellow number 33. They race their way in the dual races. The way we figured out who was going to be our field fillers, if you will, here today, we did a 50-lap dual race, 50 or 60 laps, I don't remember. And the top 4 finishers advanced. That was Dale Jr., Muniz, Travis Pastrana, who's back in 25th right now, and L.W. Wright, who's back in 31st, and of course one of the biggest grifters in NASCAR history. And speaking of, it's kind of funny that Sterling Marlin is leading the race while talking about L.W. Wright. But then 5 drivers made it in via vote. And depending on who you want to say got voted in, there were 5 via vote and 1 via my personal choice. And, well, there was a tie for the last spot. And the car that I was going to throw in there, if it didn't get voted in, was in that mix anyway, and Joe Nemechek in the 87. So it was Kanan, Nemechek, Deegan, Force. Oh, trying to think here. Ken Schrader. And who the fuck else? No, Brayton Laster is technically a chat car. Anyway, there's 6 of them, trust me. Actually, I think it was Sterling Marlin in the 40. He did not race it. So front of the field, we get to talk about this 56 car. that led the points for a good chunk of NASCAR Chat Series Season 1 due to just outstanding stage finishes. He went 3 or 4 races without not finishing in the top 10 in a stage. He'll get shuffled to the back here as Lucas will take the lead. Couple of Fords up at the front of the field, and Jordo looking racy in 3rd place with Evo in tow. Feels like a good time as well to talk about your NASCAR Chat Series champion from the inaugural season. It is Pat in a new look number 3 car, sported the Wrangler colors last year. And it's tough to see from here. I can't really zoom in much more. But every car does have the NASCAR Chat Series logo on it. A special designation. We'll see if we can find it here. That's not a great look. Let's try. There! NASCAR Chat Series champion. Designated on the 3. And as it was at the end of the Coke Zero Sugar 400 last year, or at least with 1 to go, it's Evo and Pat. Pat making the pass off turn 4 to win that race. And in Evo's case, I mean, it is kind of comical at this rate. Just the bad luck that he's had. His car doesn't qualify well. It really doesn't race well unless there are no points on the line. We have run 3 non-points races in NASCAR Chat Series history, 2 Budweiser shootouts, and the All-Star race. And the 24 has won 2 of those, the All-Star race and this year's Budweiser shootout. So someday there's a points win coming, as he'll get passed by his teammate in the 5, who will drop to the bottom and pushed by B $sign in the 32, drove the 45 car much of last year. But during the snowball shootout, he actually switched schemes. Well, I switched him schemes because we had to a couple different times, and actually won one of the races in the 32 tide ride. So, 32 on that Tricon Toyota. We will take lap 15 of the 2026 Daytona 500. And you know what? We'll go on board with last year's champion and Pat. Well, back at the Daytona 500, I promise you it is not rigged, but I am leading at the moment. Paid attention to the chat. Evo, of course, is referencing what happened in Austin's Endurance Series, similar to what we're doing here, his car not only forgot to brake for a corner at Mount Panorama, but also forgot to steer for said corner. Kuzma takes lap 18. And this car here, I mean, bounced around a little bit. I mean, remember last year he had 2 different schemes, and then I had announced that he was going to be on the RFK team. Then I made the John Force car, and I'm like, well, somebody's got to go off RFK for realism's sake. So Lucas picked up a teammate at Stewart Haas Racing, and due to the short time that we had in between that decision being made, didn't really have time to pick out a sponsor, so Ford Racing colors on board for the number 14. Evo staying up at the front for the moment. He's got both of his teammates up here with him, the 5 on the inside. And then Ken Schrader in the 25, about to be side by side with him. I know, how about it? This is way better than the tandem draft, isn't it? Gunny and Jordo might argue that, just because they were winners at Daytona last year in that fashion, but hey, a long way to go, and this is how we should be racing Daytona. So we're still a little bit early on the fuel window, but I feel like we should talk about that coming up with 46 laps to go in this opening stage. Kind of looking anywhere lap 30 to 40 in theory, and of course, as always at Daytona, the biggest thing is pitting with friends. And with no stage breaks, now we do still have, and we actually have more redeemable debris cautions for this year's race. The limit is 5, and you can call them up until 10 laps to go for the Daytona 500. That will swap around, and it will move around depending on the race. So there is that. But yes, those are out there. Those will, barring any crashes, we will, at max, I suppose, have 5 stoppages. Get it right, Evo. It's a Busch Light can. Can factory. Not a lot of Tricon help up front right now for the 32. Let's go and touch on, you know what, El Jefe in the Scotiabank 55 for this race. He'll have a couple of different schemes. This one and Bauer Hockey, which we did see in the Budweiser shootout. And for Jeff, it's been a long time coming too, still without a win. Dating back to the Gran Turismo series, has not won anything of any sort. He's one of the few, and in fact Lucas in the 10 in there on the inside is another one that's been in every single Chat Series type deal we've done and has not come away with a race win. So we're hoping this is the year that turns around for El Jefe. He was a 2-time pole winner, which is the most in NASCAR Chat Series history, as we saw in the pre-race at the moment. So back up to the front of the field, B. Dollarsign continues to keep Kuzmic, Ken Schrader, Miss Airy, and Evo, and a move from second and third in line. And Kuzmic wants the lead back. And he's gonna get it. Schrader gonna follow in. Evo in close as well. That outside lane with the 45 and the 55 not really doing much of anything. They don't have a lot of help up there. It really is just about too wide for the moment. I'm kind of breaking up a little bit in the back of the pack, but I certainly don't think... Oh, for a second there, I thought Dale Jr. might have lost the draft. He was over a second back. Nope, he's just at the tail end of the line. D. Kuzmic and Dalasai trading the lead. Now Ken Schrader will take that lead spot in what has now become the middle lane. Got some action. Trying to force that third line there. We might be 4 wide in the back. Oh, so nearly. Haven't seen that a lot. But between Austin and Squid and LW Wright, we about had a mess on our hands. Hey, that's fine. That's kind of where you want to be. I mean, obviously, you don't want to get caught up in anything. But so far, everybody's kind of minding themselves. That little flirtation with 4 wide was really the first kind of dicey moment we had. So Evo drops to the bottom. There's no help down there. So that will hand the lead back to me. I'll drop to the bottom and probably just hand it to Smee. But now 4 cars on that outside lane. It is Rookie and TJ, Jeff in behind, LW Wright and Squid, and they might have just added another car to that mix, and they did, and it's your past champion and Pat. Some good shuffling at the front of the field here. Smee leads, but TBNR Cars has now joined the party, and with 5 cars on the outside, starting to flirt, doing a little bit of something there. Prediction, your car pits before lap 30. That would be unfortunate. Unfortunate indeed. As we take lap 30 of the Daytona 500. Aiden in the 5 back to the front of the field. And for the first time up front all day is LW Wright in the 34 car. Which of course raced its way in, one of the top 4 finishers in the dual race. A race won by Frankie Muniz. But we may have already told the story if you don't already know it in the case of L.W. Wright. Just a random dude, essentially, that found himself racing at Talladega. Defrauded multiple people, multiple agencies to be able to afford a ride, ran just a few laps, and then nobody ever heard from him until supposedly very near his death. There was a man that claimed that he was L.W. Wright that passed away a couple years ago. And who would have ever thought, in any way, shape, or form, we'd see the day where L.W. Wright is leading the Daytona 500, but that is exactly what is happening right now. So he's pushed by Lucas. We're back to just two wide all the way through the field. Top lane fizzled out and morphed into the middle lane. Good push from behind from the 3. Squid will take the lead and lead the lap. As pit stops are approaching, we have 34 to go in this opening stage. Just about halfway through the first stage here today. We're starting to get people thinking about that third line. Kind of looked like Pastrana, Muniz, and somebody else back there. Trying to think about it. Jordo from third in line on the high lane. Gonna jump up there, see if anybody goes with her. For the moment, no. And now Haley Deegan thinking about it, but not yet. So no takers there with Jordo. She's gonna get shuffled back here. To the lead goes Pat. Already a Daytona winner, as we talked about last year in August. Zero Sugar 400 with the last lap pass. Do we have another last lap pass on today? Of course, beautifully, nobody has lost the grab. Now, when we get to the first pit window, I might expect that to change a little. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to believe that the entire field is going to pit with friends. Kind of hard to imagine, so we'll see how it goes. Something notable that we have not talked about yet is the fact that there are no fast repairs for this race, so if you find yourself in trouble, it's not going to be very good for you. And we might just keep that all year. To add to the importance of every lap. Keeping it clean out there. Lap 38, certainly rapidly approaching that first pit window. If we make it to lap 40 without a pit stop, I'd be stunned. It's gotta be coming here soon, right? Because when did they start pitting in the Budweiser shootout in the duels? One lap away from lap 40. I might be totally wrong. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, nobody other than maybe Pat, who's up front right now. Smee, maybe D. Kuzmic is his lead for any prolonged length of time. Honestly, with it, all this running out front that Pat's doing right now, I wouldn't be surprised if he was one of the first to fall. Squid made a move up. Wonder if there might be some indication. Pit stops are on the horizon. Nope, we're just doing it for no reason. That's okay. So we do take lap 40. And still no pit stops in this Daytona 500. 26 laps to go in the opening stage. You don't have the stage breaks to save you. Some bad pit strategy here today. Red Wings have moved to the outside. There's no help to be found up there outside of maybe LW Wright. Way in the back of the field with help from Brayton Laster, Jordo, and Frankie Muniz. Back to the lead, gonna nose out in front is the 89. TBNR cars. No help from his RFK teammates as of yet. The next closest to him, this area, who's outside of the top 10 at the moment. We just got infinite fuel, guys? What do we got going on here? Bound to be coming. So Cars leads from Pat, Lucas, the rookie, and Oraman. In fact, both NASCAR Chat Series rookies are inside the top 10. Oraman 4th, and TJ at 9th. I did not touch tires and fuel. And never have, so that would be an interesting turn of events if we just had nothing but unlimited fuel here. Maybe we've been driving even more efficiently than we realize. Hard to say. And the rookies side by side there for a moment here on lap 42. Lucas is back to the front. He's been hovering around the front much of the first stage of this race. Found a good bit. This car specifically, man, did it give me fits, and there we go. We have our answer. Lucas and Pat are the first ones to go to the pit lane. Lap 43. So inheriting the lead is TJ with Smee on the outside. That did break up the pack just a little bit, but everybody in close together. Yeah, 2 cars is tough. 2 cars is really tough. We'll see how it shapes out for them. Now that we know that the dominoes are falling, this is about to get real interesting. Lucas and Pat more or less did leave the pit lane together. This time, TJ, Misseri, Jeff, TBNR Cars, myself, Joe Nemechek to the pit lane. As B $sign will inherit the lead. Now, I would assume there's going to be some cars that just get it so wrong and stay out far too long. Hopefully nobody too consequential. I don't want anybody's race to end this early. And, you know, as long as there's no huge problems, you would anticipate a chance to save your race with those debris cautions later. So here on lap 44, big chunk of cars coming to the pit lane, including your past Daytona 500 champion in the 43. So now we'll do it all over again, and Squid kind of breaking out here. It's really broken up the pack. Which is probably not a good thing, or maybe it is. Getting a tow from a good ways back. Might run a little bit faster. Uh-oh. Let's check in on the pit lane. Oh, no! What is... What is happening? That is one hell of a way to get to your pit box. Oh, no. Well, we've noted that down. Did Evo just pass underneath the yellow line? Did we have problems? We must have had problems, because yes, there are some cars that had some issues. I have no idea. Evo's going to the pit lane. Ash is all by herself. Evo's pitted by himself. We must have had problems getting onto the pit lane. We will have to check on that later. Evo into his box without problems outside of being slow, and the debris caution will come out for the first time today. So this, by the way, is the absolute mess that happened on pit lane. 3 wide down the pit lane. The 32 tries to get into his box. I don't know. Is that penalty worthy, and just stacks up everything? Now, the good news here is that I guess nobody really took a lot of damage, but I don't know if anybody really got going again. They might have had to get towed. And that does appear to be the case. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think we're going to have to give the 32 an end of line for that. Jesus, and what about suspension damage, getting up and off the banking like that? So much happening just prior to the debris yellow being used for the first time today. The 32 car found to have caused the mess on pit road. I think he does have to serve that black flag under green here. Unless he already has. I didn't have any indication that he did. So that is going to be a tough road back for that 32 Tricon car. But, I mean, you just couldn't ignore it. And we called a penalty on Pat last year. We didn't notice it during the race. So we had to do it in the next race at Homestead. But very similar thing. Causing some mess on pit road. And that's what we just had happen there. So, lap 51, about to be lap 52. We'll have 14 to go in the opening stage of the Daytona 500, and things are kind of as they started. Squid was your pole sitter. He's back up to the top spot, and this time he's got help from a teammate. Probably won't be help. The 56 on the outside, and another teammate in Jeff, lurking back in 8th position. As we are about to go back to green to finish off stage 1 of the Daytona 500. Squid and Yo Gamer Tricon leads the field to green. Earnhardt Jr. certainly did not get going off the restart, but everybody is back out here now. And all packed up together, already going 3 wide. And yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there. Might be something that we have to check kind of around that lap 46 time frame and see what happened to Aura Man. But yes, the rookie is out of the Great American Race as B $ is serving that 30-second black flag. Just gonna mess up his race, but he put a lot of cars a lap down. I think that's only fair that that he's probably going to go a lap down too. So at the stripe, I think D. Kuzmic might have just gotten that over the 56. Now Smee back in front. I see some front end damage on Dale Earnhardt Jr. I wonder if that had a factor in what he did. Drop of the green flag to restart this race. A lot of shuffling going on. Lucas to the bottom, Yo Gamer to the middle. B $ was in the pit lane for 1 minute and 3 seconds. And that does put him as the last car still running at this stage with 31 cars. Actually, he was in the pit lane for 1 minute 30. Even worse. But look at who's up here looking for stage points yet again. And we talked about it a little bit ago with the 56 and his stage results in the early part of last year. Now, with that being said, he never, in all of last year, if I'm recalling correctly, won a stage. Had great stage results, but I don't think he ever truly won one. And yeah, definitely looking at the 8 of Dale Earnhardt Jr., that front is kind of caved in a good bit. That can't be good for the Aero. Not really sure if I'd want him leading that line, as something tells me we caught the 32, and we did. Gonna mix in with the pack. I do believe 2 laps down now as stage 1 dwindles down. But yeah, Kanan, Wright, Red Wings, and Laster, victims of all of that from the 32. I think it's a justified penalty. In the case of Dale Earnhardt Jr., the damage on that race car, we have seen it in the past. Remember Michigan last year when Will Power had a big crash that caved in the front of his car in a very similar fashion, and then that car was faster than it ever was, and he wound up winning the race. Not going to be the same for Dale Earnhardt Jr. again today. It's Toyota dominance right now at the front of the field, top 3 spots, and then Squid back in 6th place. Way through this Daytona 500. Back in the makings of a third line is Ash, John Force, trying to get something going. They're kind of phasing back down into the middle lane right now. Trying to get something going, but not going to happen. And now Muniz and Laster kind of pinned back there too. Front of the field, yet again, Smee. Terrifying sight to behold. Remember, of course, that Smee's won a crown jewel before. Your Indianapolis 500 winner last year here in iRacing. I know we talked about it in the Discord at one point as well. Smee, new number. This was a 23 card last year. But the same look, the same number file. Newly minted 00. I just thought 00 was much more fitting for Smee. I think it is. And of course, no teammates. We have 7 laps remaining. Here in the first stage, Squid is back to the front. Right now, at the next caution, Tony Kanaan in free pass position. He's actually making good progress up through the field. But again, I don't think that car really took a lot of damage or anything like that. We're 3 wide for the lead. 3 Toyotas and Smee will lead the lap. But it's almost like you can tell that this stage is winding down. A little bit more aggression. Especially at the front. We haven't seen them 3 wide at the front very often. No, that's not true. It's next year's Daytona 500. At least according to the headline that I saw, I said 2027 Daytona 500. Smee your leader here on lap 61. Yeah, because he had already said that he was running San Diego in the trucks and shit like that. Lord knows he's going to be around for a couple more races this year. Yes, next year's Daytona 500. Jimmy Johnson will officially call it a cup career again. Yeah, a lot of people did, don't feel bad. Do we have an early contender for most laps led in Smee? That would certainly be unfortunate to have to give 5 bonus points to him. And I'm not going to go through and try and figure it out with all the movement on the ticker right now, but if somebody can spot out a fastest lap, remember that there's a point to be awarded for that, too. Gundy with a time that's up there, 46.2. Evo with a 46.2, too. Dordo with a 46.25, according to chat. Your current fastest lap of the race, and which is surprising. I don't know. I wonder when that might have happened, if it was before or after all the goofy that happened on pit road caused by the 32 car. Ever since that debris yellow, it has been Toyotas up front. Whoa! See that with Pat back there? That looked dicey. Don't wreck it, guys. He looked out of shape there for a moment, caught it. And we stay green with 2 to go on the stage. Remember, stage 2 ends at the completion of lap 65. Or stage 1, rather. Like a year ago, we stay green all throughout it. Continue on. And so then a good target for pit stops, at least at this current moment in time, around about lap 80. Perhaps just a little bit past, because we did get the help of the time running under the yellow flag. But we have 1 lap to go. In the opening stage of the Daytona 500, the race for the stage points is on. And it's your pole sitter in Squid up here for the moment. Looking to bring it home. Score your first points of the year. Caleb's up here. He's got a shot at it if that second lane can start to get a run. D. Kuzmic will drop to the bottom. Opens the door for Smee. Not what we want to see. So we'll come out of turn 4. For the moment, it's the 14 car coming to the line to end the first stage, and Smee wins stage 1 of the Daytona 500. Let's get some official stage results. Smee, the stage winner. D. Kuzmic, Caleb picking up 3rd place stage points. Squid 4th, Jeff 5th. Yo Gamer 6th, Miss Airy in 7th. Dale Jr. in 8th with that caved-in nose. TBNR Cars 9th, and Austin picking up 1 single stage point. We will be right back in the 2026 Daytona 500.
Times like this, I think how lucky I am to be a NASCAR Winston Cup driver, and how fortunate I am to have a great sponsor like Napa Auto Parts, because Napa understands quality and value, and the importance of having a friendly, knowledgeable staff. And it's at times like this, looking around at the empty grandstands and listening to the silence of pit road, that I realize I'm at the wrong track.
Welcome to Applebee's. Can I interest you in America's favorite boneless wings for just 50 cents each?
I'll have the 50-cent bone.
Cover your mouth. They could steal your order.
I'll have the 50-cent boneless wings.
I'll have the same.
Perfect. They'll never see it coming.
There's one. What is that?
It's my day, I'll call.
That's way better than my duck call.
If you're on a diet of taking it up a notch,
It's just different.
drink Diet Dew, the only diet with dew in it.
Nice suit. You might need this. Remember, Bubba, the Force will be with you. Always.
Last year, Ram killed the Hemi V8, and people had opinions. The same people that killed the Hemi sent me out here with these comments. That's not happening. We own it, we got it wrong, and we're fixing it. You hear that? That's our Hemi, and it's saying, I'm back.
Did he say what I think he said? That thing's got a Hemi!
Hell yeah, it does. You want more? Buckle up. Ram's coming back to NASCAR. Let's go. We're back in America's motorsport. The Hemi's back, and we ain't going anywhere.
Get your sweaters ready, Detroit. Mom's Spaghetti is coming to 2131 Woodward Avenue. Want some road pasta after the game?
Got that.
Meatballs?
You know we got that.
What about the Sketty sandwich? Mom's got that too. Get ready to get some Mom's Spaghetti, Detroit. Opening in the alley next to Union Assembly this September. 313-888-8388. Mom's Spaghetti. It's all ready. Ready.
Heck yeah.
Game on, fellas. You guys are going down.
Oh, it's on now.
Let's do this. Are you guys sure you drive for a living?
You guys ever played a video game before?
Is that all you got?
Joey out of nowhere.
Dude, you just put it in the wall? He's got me on the high side. Whoa, watch him low. We're gone. Dang, Joey, you're smoking today.
Just like Kyle's car.
Thank you, cover boy. And Joey's bringing the heat. How are you so much better than us? Hey, Kyle, is that NASCAR Heat Evolution? Wait, who's playing the game then?
Eat my brake dust.
Pre-order now at NASCARheat.com. Rated E for everyone.
Well, I thought that would just be a fun way to have a nice little break here in what is a long race. If you guys hate it, I won't do it, but I thought it would be fun just to have some weird ads and some NASCAR adjacent stuff, some non-NASCAR adjacent stuff. As we are back with Daytona 500, 73 throughout. Side by side, TBNR cars led the majority to the pit lane. Goes Miss Airy. Now that would be, at least I would think, a little early, but I mean, I don't see any obvious damage on the car. I don't know about pitting alone here, but that appears to be the call. And TBNR cars, RFK Racing teammate. Well, I guess we'll just keep an eye on when everybody else decides to come down pit lane. I mean, I guess if it happens here again, and I mean, maybe we did just have an incredibly efficient first run of the race. Maybe this is kind of right on schedule. Well, this time around, nobody's making a move. So I don't know how well this is going to pan out for the 17 car, but we shall see. Just one retirement in this Daytona 500. It was the Ford car, the rookie of Oraman. We're still not really sure what happened there with him. We'll have to take a look at that at the end of this race. Figure out what happened to one of 3 Stewart Haas Racing Fords. And if you'll notice, I mean, by the way, it kind of got screwed up a little bit, the exact balance of the field. We do have a pretty even amount of Toyotas, Fords, and Chevys. And I think that the only way we're out of balance is I think there's one less Toyota. That's why I put in the next car to get redeemed, I would really like it to be a Toyota to try and keep that balance. TBNR cars get shuffled back from the lead. Yo Gamer had taken it away. And now Caleb. We haven't talked about him very much yet in this Daytona 500, but he is up there. And how about the bottom lane? Kind of fighting back, not letting the 35 get in there. Redeems a Ram. Well, don't do that, because there is still not a Dodge Cup car. Not yet. Next year, probably. Maybe. We shall see. I'm sure when we do get Dodge back in the Cup Series, that'll be a popular option. Yeah, I figured you and I'm sure some others would be candidates to make that move. A classic Cadillac. Well, the only Cadillac that I know of in iRacing, there might be like a Supercars Cadillac from back in the day, like a legacy car, and the GTP, so we can't really use that. Well, Tricon at the front of the field here, the 55, the leader of the lap. The 32 is still 2 laps down after the 32nd black flag. So inheriting the lead with a caved-in nose, at least momentarily, is Dale Earnhardt Jr. Now, I just can't imagine the way that this Daytona racing works. that that car is going to be able to stay in the lead very long. And now Caleb takes that top spot back, looking to get around the 32. I don't know if that's really all that advantageous. I kind of would have maybe stuck in behind him there. Definitely some goofy going on here in the back. I don't know if people just got shaken up or what the case was. I was just trying to make sure nobody ran out of fuel. Possibly that was not the case. Now 2 Tricon cars lead the field, with the third in there. Almost got like a DEI situation going on here. So Dale Earnhardt wasn't really multiple laps down when he was defending Dale Jr. Michael Waltrip. And now Miss Airy did lose a lap. DUI, DEI. But prime position at the moment for the 17 to get her lap back with a yellow flag here. Or, you know, maybe it'll work out in the long run, pitting off sequence with everybody else. As we are now in that window where I would expect pit stops to start occurring, it'd be the second complete cycle of them. 51 laps to go in stage number 2. Stage 1 winner in Smee still holding on strong. 5th place, 3rd in line, now 4th in line. On the inside, Yo Gamer has taken the spot. Maybe that 8 car is going to be a great pusher today. Maybe Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the one you want behind you. Car must have speed if it's going to still compete after that damage. And you wonder if Jr. is ever going to fix that. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't, but then again, with the no fast repairs, I mean, you have to sit on pit road for a couple minutes fixing that stuff. That's really going to be a pain in the butt. Might just end your race. Not yet. Surprisingly, not yet. We do know that those pit stops are coming. You only save so much under yellow flag conditions. And how about the bounce back, by the way, for the 43? I don't know how she didn't go a lap down. But currently sitting inside the top 10, 8th place. Car looking good, all things considered, given it. I mean, that was just such a surprise to see a car driving straight through the grass onto the track, back down, and then into the pit box. That was such a strange way to go about that. I don't think she had to drive all the way out there. Red Wings has made the move to the pit lane as well. Solo stop for him too. So far, 2 takers at the end of this second run. Miss Airy and Red Wings, and they both pitted by themselves. That would signal to me, though, that the rest of the field is going to follow suit here in the next couple laps, because right now is about the time where I would think that would happen. Not this time. A bit of bizarre strategy going on. Might be race-ending strategy if it doesn't work out your way. It's just not what I would do. Not what I would think anybody would do. Tell you what, second stage thus far, 89, and some others. You know, Yo Gamer and some of the Toyotas. D. Kuzmic's still up here as well. The 89 especially kind of dominated stage 2 this one. Off of lap 85, we have another solo stop. This time it is Yo Gamer, and my God, guys, we can't be doing this. Stop doing it. It's not gonna benefit you in the long run at all. I mean, they can, and they are. It's just not very smart. As we approach the halfway point of the Daytona 500. Second time we've done this. I think it's gone off a little bit better thus far, despite the weird that we did see in the pit lane. This time around, that looked like another solo stop, and it was El Jefe. As Tricon's got something brewing, I just don't know if it's the smart thing. 55 and the 56 pit, a lap apart, when they could have just come down the pit lane and at least had some drafting help. See Red Wings on the horizon. That could make this, if there is a mass entrance to the pit lane here, that could make this really messy. With the 71 being so much farther off the pace than everybody else. The 14 gonna try and go to the high side here. I don't like where we're headed. Oh no, am I gonna pit solo? What is wrong with us? Why are we stupid? Here I am out here saying, yep, I wouldn't do that. Well, AI me thinks it's a great idea. Goodness gracious, what are we doing out here? Now, about the only thing that could probably save me is that if everybody comes down to pit road right about now. But if I get caught by the pack here, I don't think it's going to be very good. Miss Harry, for the moment, has gotten her lap back organically. This time around, we do at least have two cars. Coming down the pit lane, it is D. Kuzmic, and it is Caleb. Whoops, we're in pit lane cam. Which means John Force inherits the lead here on lap 89. We talked about him, the 16-time funny car champion. I grew up, my dad didn't watch drag racing all that much, but when he did, oh, look at the back bumper of Force's car. He got hit pretty hard. Good Lord above. But yeah, no, always fun to root for John Force. Greatest to ever do it. What happened here? Because after Evo, everybody's kind of broken up here. I don't get what's going on. This is really, really messy right now. Haley Deegan just entered the pit lane. I mean, really broken strategy here. No mass pit stops yet. And you just wonder when they might come because we're on the good side of messy. Kind of. You and Ash, so far, not with a bad plan. So there were a good chunk of pit stops. Oh my goodness, Tricon's done it again. Squid will come down the pit lane solo. I mean, they just keep falling. One domino at a time. I mean, at this point, I'd be worried with some of these cars running out of gas. I mean, we've been out here a long, long time. Did somebody run out of gas there in the back? I thought Smeed come down the pit lane. He looks awfully slow back there. Back up to the lead group. Force your leader. It'll be Force, Munez, and Jordo to the pit lane this time around. I feel like we should be watching the pit lane. Like, it, but, I don't know. After what we saw earlier, pit lane might be the most intriguing part of the entire race. TBNR Cars in the 89 takes the lead back. He'll get in front of the 71. Put the 71 officially. Is that 1 lap down or 2 laps down? That'd be 2 laps. Oh boy. We've got about a third of the field trapped a lap down right now. Oh, something happened to Joe Nemechek, by the way. I just got the note that he jumped to the pit lane. Next chance we get, we'll have to take a look at lap 92 for the number 87. And then while all that is going on, where's LW Wright? He's fine. It said he left the track, but for the moment, he's okay. Well, a broken field. Here in the Daytona 500 as we approach the halfway point. Evo, I think, just pitted by himself. He sure did. Guys, get it together. What are we doing here? Yeah, come on, Evo. I thought you and Ash had a good thing going there for a minute. Maybe. In its box for 12 seconds. You wouldn't know it in all this mess. Pat is your leader. At what point? All right, well, Pat's going to pit by himself. Does that leave just 2 cars that have not pitted for the second time yet? It does. And it's the top 2 cars in the field, the 5 and the 46. I mean, I thought maybe 1 or 2 alternating strategies was possible. I didn't think we'd have this much separation. Well, the good news is for you, Evo, is that you're going to be picked up by probably a good chunk of cars that have made that same choice. And, well, Ash at least pits with help. Aiden and Ash down the pit lane. We'll focus in on Pat, who at the moment would inherit the lead. Not exactly the way you expect to tune in to the Daytona 500 with everybody separated like this. But, I mean, kind of, more or less, it might shuffle out okay. Ash looked like she wanted the lead here for a moment. 2 cars is not going to be enough to deter a hard-charging pack here. What did Lando Norris taste like? Papaya. I don't really know if it tasted like papaya, but it did taste kind of melony. No, you took lap 100. We'll see if you lead lap 100 too. 14 charging hard on the outside. But good push from the 5, so you might actually just get this done. 3 Chevrolets at the front of the field with the Fords pushing hard in the middle. And now officially, Ash does lead lap 100. Halfway in the 2026 Daytona 500. Joe Nemechek is back out onto the racetrack, and again we had to note down the lap and or at least the approximate lap of what might have happened to him, because he did have to jump to the pit lane, and that was under the pit cycle yet again. I love this game so much. It's simple but beautiful. Make back to the front. Ash making herself at home at the front of the field. Do have the top 21 cars in this pack to go along with some of the cars that are 1 lap down. And Joe Nemechek is actually in that free pass position if something were to occur. Whether a redeemed debris caution or a problem. It's unfortunate that that single car pit strategy didn't work out for everybody. Miss Harry kind of got boned by it. Red Wings is back to just 1 lap down, racing for that free pass position. 1. 5 possible debris yellows has been redeemed today which is a little bit of a surprise. However, with them being available to be redeemed up until 10 laps to go, I would say it does make sense to wait to use them. So stage update, 28 laps to go in stage 2. Stage 1 winner in Smee has kind of had his race messed up, and this is what we got going on. So you got that lead pack of the 21 cars and the lappers. This is 22nd, 3rd, and 4th. Smee, Travis Pastrana, and Lucas, who had such a great run going. Now they're kind of holding their own. They're holding form here, which is exactly what they need to do. They don't need to be too wide or anything like that. If they stay like this and hope for some help, their race is not yet over. However, you certainly... I don't think the chat field is going to be trying to help out Travis Pastrana here. Front of the field, new leader. 24 of Evo, solo pitters. And he's kind of got a pick on the outside of the 71 here, so it doesn't matter. He might lead this lap. Well, did we speak too soon? The 14 pulls out. Ash with some help, and Evo will lead as we take lap 105 from Daytona International Speedway. Lap 109 from Daytona, Yo Gamer. In the 56 is your leader with some lap down cars kind of sandwiching him in the 71. And the 28, who's not technically a lap down, second that the 28 loses that top spot in this pack, that will be the case. Tail end of the lead lap. And the 71 has been battling to try and stay in front of the leaders, to try and keep himself on the lead. There's 21 laps to go in stage number 2. Yo Gamer's been up front a good bit. This might be another car that you look at when it comes to most laps led. And look at who's in there as well. TVNR cars, the 89, third at the moment. And that was a car that was up front much of the early part of this second stage. I'll throw up the best lap times yet again, see if anybody has improved. A 46.06 from Miss Airy is the fastest that I'm seeing right now. We'll let that cycle through. Holy shit. And yes, safe to say, I think that is the fastest we've got so far. Well, damn. Top lane was getting a little bouncy, a little bit scary in there. They've been doing that all race, but it doesn't make it any less terrifying. Ash second. 32 needs a lot of help. Tony Kanaan has actually fallen 2 laps down. Up to 32 into 30th position. After the penalty that put him in this spot. But again, well-deserved penalty for that 32 car. More or less the same stuff we bopped Pat with last year afterwards. The incident on pit road with Ash. Whoa, speaking of Ash, an aggressive move to the outside to try and get by the 56 and by proxy the 28. Haven't seen a snappy move like that much of this race, in the 46. Get clear in the lead. I mean, yes, but without the stage breaks, I don't know how much good that really does you. Outside of, I guess, battling for points, but no, I think everybody was fine anyway when I noticed the pit stops really start to pick up. I think there was 33 to go on the stage, which would have everybody from that point on good, so not really a massive concern, I wouldn't think. Now the car that I would worry about, I guess, and we'll go and check on for the pit lap, would be Miss Airy, who is where? I'm sorry, Airy's on the lead lap? How the fuck did that happen? Yep, lap 73 is the official pit lap for the 17 car. So Ash leads, those cars on the outside, all multiple, or at least 1 lap down. Real threat for Ash right now would be the 56, who's just boxed in with those lappers. Ash gonna try and get around the 28 again. Sterling Marlin, mid-pack, move to the outside lane. Ash just can't keep these lap down cars behind her. They just continue to try and make the move. And if you're the 32, I mean, I don't know if it does you that much good. You get out in front of the leader, you can't pull away. Coming to 15 to go. in stage number 2. Ever since we took lap 100, the 46 has dominated at the front of the field, so leading a good chunk of laps. And if this continues on, and I mean, she's got the help of those lap down cars just boxing in everybody for position. Ash might throw her name into the hat for most laps led today. This car does look so good, right? Like, this game doesn't exactly work for the next gen, but honestly, it looks a whole lot better than I thought it would. And again, those day-glow numbers that we see on multiple cars in the field, some sponsor-related, some not. They look so good and they pop here at Daytona for sure. Pit stops occurring yet again. Miss Airy is down the pit lane. That might be something I want to take note of. I mean, I don't know if there's something we need to be looking at here. No, just a quick stop. I don't agree with it, but that's what the 17's strategy is, I guess, today. 10 to go in stage number 2. I mean, yeah, maybe it plays out. Maybe it plays out in the long run. Yo Gamer and Tony Kanan. Kanan not for position in the 11. Made their way around Ash for the moment. They had a breakup at the back of the field there. Who's all involved in that? I see Frankie Muniz back there. Laster, Jordo, Nemechek, Deegan, and Aiden. I would assume when Airy came down the pit road, or down the pit lane, that kind of threw a wrench into everything up front. So the leader of the race right now, the third car in line on the inside, and the 14 And somebody we haven't talked about too much today, Austin in the 19th, second in line on the outside, behind the lap car of Red Wings. Red Wings actually noses out in front to take his lap back. For the moment, it's not going to stick. Just a mess with these lap cars up here. Trying to figure out who's for position and who's not. So stage points might be about to get interesting if we're thinking about pitting again. Wait, how did Miss Sarah get... I'm so confused. Did she blend back into the pack and I not realize? Or did that I think, wait, live timing might have lied to me. This got really confusing there. So no, Miss Sarah is a lap down. She did pit at lap 119. That was just, I didn't even notice it. Leader of lap 123, Mr. DFL himself. Austin in the 19. Now, if DFL is the goal, and stage points in the first race of the year, in the first two stages, no less, finishing 10th in stage 1, not gonna be a great start to that. Tell you what, a well-timed yellow for any one of those cars that are a lap down right now, which is unfortunate because they're kind of all early pitters. But I would say that gets you right back into the race if everybody pits in front of you and you're able to get a wave around. See the changes in the skies here at Daytona. You can tell it's getting later. I don't know if this race is going to finish in the dark. I feel like we might be close. Definitely seeing some yellow skies out here. Seeing some side swipe damage on Caleb's car, actually. Like, it's just cosmetic as far as I can tell, but some battle scars here in this Daytona 500. And he'll move to the outside, let us get a clear look at that. But yeah, that side all scraped up on the 35. Ash retakes the lead, lap 126. Stage point up for grabs in just a few laps. The end of lap 130. 5 to go in stage 2. Austin and Ash battling up front. That is not. That's probably not a good place for Austin to be. Oh no! Red Wings with a drop to the apron. Is he out of gas? He certainly might be. This could be real notable. He's got to make it around here. Otherwise, the yellow flag is going to have to come out. So we'll keep an eye. A yellow flag would end the stage if he's not able to make it back. If he gets on the pit lane, we'll let the game handle it. But if he does not, I don't think we're going to have much of a choice here. And the way it's going, the 71 is not going to make it. The yellow is going to come out on lap 28. And that is going to end the stage. So these are the official stage 2 results. It is not TBNR Cars, or it is not Yo Gamer, it is TBNR Cars. Squid 2nd, YoLgamer 3rd, Austin 4th, Ash 5th, Caleb 6th, Sterling Marlin 7th, John Force 8th, Dale Jr. in 9th, and TJ picks up his first ever stage points in NASCAR Chat Series competition. Pit stops have certainly been the story of this Daytona 500. It's been a big factor in terms of getting to where we are right now. So stage 3 will be underway. We'll have 68, unfortunately, laps to go in the Great American Race. Now, YoLgamer did not win the stage. The stage did end early due to caution. So TBNR Car is your stage winner for stage 2. That is his first of his career. Everybody's pretty much back here together. We have 23 cars on the lead lap after LW Wright got the free pass when Red Wings ran it out of gas. Now Red Wings is 3 laps down, last car on track. Certainly appears that one of the cars that led the most laps in last year's Daytona 500 is not going to be a factor here today. But still 4 debris yellows out there to be used. And those 4 cars that are 1 lap down could get a chance to get back into this thing. For the first time today, we will start, or take the green flag, I suppose, with Squid not in the top position, but it is his Tricon teammate in YoLgamer. Problems! Did we keep it together? Off the restart here, somehow nobody hit the wall. Oh my goodness gracious, how is everybody still going after that? And not only that, like, we're good. Like, we're just gonna continue going. I guess we'll see if anybody is going to need to pit for some damage after that. Left front is bonked on Evo. Let's take a look. Certainly not anything too concerning over there. Right side looks clear. Just some scrapes. Nobody comes to pit road that time, but that does break up the pack, which is not good for those, oh, let's see, 15th on back. So leading the second group appears to be me, with help from John Force. Imagine being street reviewed. Oh, what a mess. As we start stage 3, front of the field, it is Tricon running away with it right now. They've had cars up front all day as we will go side by side for the final time here in the Daytona 500.
Forced it to the harbor so we could sit quietly on rooftops and drink champagne. They did it so we could be loud, so we could be free.
We don't come from royalty. We come from bootleggers and bar builders. We're about grit, fights for inches, and contact that counts.
A boat, a ferry, you know.
This is where you remember what it's like to feel something. This is Sunday at Full Throttle. It's loud, it's raw, and it's a damn good time. This is NASCAR. Our engines don't whisper, they roar. You want perfect turns and polite applause? You know where to find it. But if you want dust, dented fenders, and a place to let loose, we've got a seat waiting. Cooler's full, no dress code, and no velvet ropes. With your people, Heart Racing, strapped in, screaming your damn lungs out. This wasn't made to be tamed. It's made to be felt. This is NASCAR. So America, start your engines!
Ladies, you know when it comes to the best in exotic dancing, Watch Club Mozambique 8406 Finco is the place for you. Ladies, Watch Club Mozambique male dancers are there just for you and you only. At Watch Club Mozambique, you'll see capital punishment, another level, sudden impact, strictly ghetto, juicy, hawk, joyride, absolute, rock hard, midnight lover, royal luscious, and social lovers. It all happens every Wednesday through Sunday at Watch Club Mozambique, 8406 Finco. Exotic male dancing at its best every Wednesday through Sunday at Watch Club Mozambique. Ladies, come see the #1 groups at Watch, Capital Punishment, and Social Lovers.
Dad, where'd you get that?
Oh, you won't believe what just happened.
Don't tell me you got the last Diet Dew.
Yeah.
I love the taste of Diet Dew. What do you want for it? Deal.
Diet Mountain Dew. Yeah, it tastes that good.
Hey, Hotshot. Meter's running.
Fact. Consumer Cellular can help people save on their cell phone bills. That's why I cut my car in half. This year, let's cut even more things to show people how much they can save. Let's cut the face off of our helmets. Let's cut the top off of our steering wheel. Let's even cut our hats.
Isn't that just a visor?
Shut up, Chris. Great. Can't wait to see what y'all come up with.
Get your second month free with Consumer Cellular.
How'd they get here? How should I know? T-Rex and Truex? I don't think so. I may not know how to travel back in time, but my crew knows what to do. When I want to fly, crank around the wedge in the left rear. You're only turning 9,000, need another gear. Never know how. Never know how.
Oh, look at Kyle Busch out there.
Yeah, he is all over the track.
I mean, what has gotten into him today?
Oh, that cannot be good.
Oh, unbelievable.
Whoa, look out.
Wait a minute. Is Kyle in reverse?
Yeah, you don't see that every day. Okay, that is bad driving.
Oh, this is not like Kyle at all.
Are we winning?
I thought you were looking.
M&M's makes race day more fun.
What is Kyle thinking?
Back in the Daytona 500, we've cycled the lead a couple times under the side-by-side between Ash, TB, and our cars, dominating here late in the race as we approach 50 to go in the Daytona 500. Strong run for both the 46 and the 89. They've been up front much of the second half of this race. And look at that secondary group. I haven't been paying attention to the interval, but it feels like they might have closed in just a little bit. And we are definitely not done with stoppages in this race, Lord knows, so shouldn't be too big of a concern for anybody. So pit laps for everybody in the front of the field was lap 129. We still have a ways to go before that will be a concern. And how about another car we haven't talked about very much today? That's the 25 of Ken Schrader, who's up into second place. Haven't seen Uncle Kenny in a minute, but he's up at the front of the field as it's getting to be crunch time. However, the domination of the 46 right now just continuing. Evo's up here as well. Still seeing that side swipe of the 35 car. Clearly not affecting performance one bit. And I mean, none of these cars particularly look good. Definitely some scrapes, some bangs and bruises. That's what you'd expect. I noticed very early on in testing that it really doesn't take too long for those cars to get those scuffs on the left front, on the driver's side of the car. But, oh, I don't know. TBNR Cars is leading, so we'll look back at him. I mean, his car's white, so it doesn't really show it, but man, yeah, decals have seen better days. From all the walls we're hitting. Well, somehow, we haven't really hit one. I don't have a clue in the world how that little stack up in 3 and 4 off the drop of the green for the stage did not result in a yellow flag. It's like somebody just dropped the anchor. So Cars leads. Austin leading that outside lane. With help from Ken Schrader. Everybody minding their business for the most part right now. Yeah. Well, I mean, let's take a look as well. Have we fully rejoined? I think everybody that's running, I think, is in this pack right now. Even the lap. Well, no. Smee and Red Wings are the exception. Trailing far behind. That's your stage 1 winner in Smee. Needing a miracle to win the Daytona 500 today, and we certainly hope that that does not occur. Yeah, Red Wings didn't do anything wrong to us. Through 3 and 4 on lap 147, and Ken Schrader leads the field. Austin trying to make a move. Will Kenny lead the lap? Sure will. Austin, no help from behind just yet, but help is coming from his God Squad teammate, member, whatever you want to call it. El Jefe giving Austin the push. Austin's watching. I'm sure he's terrified that his car is in the front. A new number, a new everything for that car this year, too. Remember, Austin was in the McLaren number 4 last year. And a single car team with a Gibbs number on a Chevrolet. Go figure. He asked for number 19. I'm like, well, what the fuck am I gonna do there? I didn't want to use the Evernham font. So that car will bounce around. A couple different looks throughout the year. Bell's Beer is the primary sponsor. And of course, we look forward, at least I look forward, to Oberon Day 2026. I don't know if they've officially announced the date yet. March 23rd was a guess. So if that's right, good job me. If it's not, well, I'm sorry. I made this scheme in, like, November. One lap shy of 50 to go in the Daytona 500. Ken Schrader drops to the bottom. Ash leads the high side with Evo in tow. And Pat's up here, too. Whole bunch of chatters gonna battle Uncle Kenny. Yeah, you could have number 9. I don't know if your scheme would hit the same if it didn't have Jeff Gordon's famous number 24 on it. Look at the battle scars on the front of that car. It's a darker scheme, of course they show up more. Right? It's just your number in this series now. It's got a 9 in it everywhere else, but not at Daytona. I suppose I could use the Chase Elliott 9, but I just don't think it hit. I've had 2 yellow flags in this race. The debris yellow very early on. And then Red Wings running it out of gas and parking it in 3 and 4. Right? I saw a 46 or a 3 on the track if we did a series where we screwed everything up, and I'd be like, something's just not right here. What a day it has been for the 43 car of Jordo, your defending Daytona 500 champion. Involved in the mess on the pit lane and now sitting just outside. In fact, well, El Jefe got a freight train right by. But trying to crack the top 10 and just now did. A very up and down day for the 43. Front of the field, your leader is Evo. Pat coming across the line will lead in lap 152. Getting down to it. Reminder that everybody, at least that matters here, that's on the lead lap, pitted on lap 129. So I guess it would be a shock to see what we saw at the end of the second fuel run, with everybody pitting. Not everybody, but almost everybody pitting on their own. That 56 has been up front a lot today, too. That would be a fair accusation. I somehow don't think that would make up for the fact that I accidentally scheduled this on Valentine's Day. I don't think that would make up for it. But it'd be an effort. No, I felt bad. I did not realize that it was that day. Even though, like, it doesn't change. Oh, Jesus Christ. Not today. It's probably a bad time. However, it is J2 at the front of the field, speaking of Valentine's Day. Battling for the lead, and for possibly the very first time today, the 43 noses out in front, pushed by L.W. Wright, a free pass recipient. Up front here, late in the going at Daytona. Miss Airy jumps out of line, her race got screwed up. All her own fault. Pitting on your own here at Daytona is just a death sentence. And that's exactly what happened. Oh God, what did Pat just send me? I don't know what that is, but... Oh, okay. Very nice. I can't say what I got her because she doesn't have it. It's right here. It's not nothing that cool. Cover. Being out in front of the field in the Daytona 500 sounds like a good Valentine's Day gift to me. So, hey, there is at least that. And we have a debris yellow. Well, we will have just 38 laps to go in the Daytona 500. After our third yellow flag, our second debris caution of the day. And Yo Gamer, I don't think we've had a restart that hasn't been led by a Tricon car today. It's Toyota's just had it figured out. Now, is it gonna work out in the grand scheme of things for the race? I don't know, but yeah, Ash, who called the debris yellow, did get kind of screwed with the full pit lane. Everybody just messing around back there. A mess as it has been the entire race. It's the 56 and the 25 of Ken Schrader lead us back to green in the Daytona 500. in theory, everybody's good to make it to the end, but you better hope that you got enough in it to go these final 37 laps or whatever it worked out to be. That would be enough to make it through any fuel run we've done today. You one lap 164. Evo up front late in a Daytona race yet again. Talked about it at the start of this race, but we'll remind you again. Leader on the final lap in turn 4 when we were here in August, just to get passed by Pat. He's currently sitting second in line on the outside lane in the 3. Short pitting here would be a bad idea. A really bad idea. Miss Sari, you have had a day. You have had a day. And I'll tell you what, it's a good time to pick things back up for you because, I mean, you were a lap down much of the middle portion of this race. And only just got your lap back after a long battle to finally get the free pass. The 17 is in it with a chance to win it here today. Front of the field, new leader is the number 3. It is really strange, even though I made the scheme, that the 3 looks the way that it does. And it's not black and it's not blue and yellow. GM Goodwrench or Wrangler. But it is a good-looking scheme. When I was making it, it kind of gave me JRM number 40 vibes, which was pretty cool. It wasn't really the intent, but... Well, only one of the 2 rookies in the field is still in the field, and that rookie just took the lead of the Great American Race. TJ only redeemed this spot in the 45 maybe a week ago. But he's up front late in the running. It's good stuff. And you know, good to give Caleb a teammate. He was lonely over there driving the 35. Smee out of line in the back. Got no friends back there. Really shouldn't have any friends anywhere in the field. 24 cars on the lead lap. Austin, the last car on the lead lap right now. And I mean, I know pit road got a little confusing, a little dicey under that last set of pit stops, but he must have came down the pit lane and just not pitted, because I was looking in there to try and see how long his pit time was. Well, I couldn't find it, and then we got our answer anyway when the 19 came back down the pit lane on the very next lap. So out of 4 to lead the prestigious lap 169. Aiden. Of 3 Hendrick cars, and all 3 Hendrick cars are actually inside the top 10 right now, with Ken Schrader and Evo in line with their teammate on the bottom. Is this race doomed? Is it really doomed? Why is it doomed? Because you're on the bottom of the racetrack? Been a threat all day, that 89 leading the outside group. Oh. Well, you know, you never know. Maybe you led lap 69. I'm not really sure who did. But everybody running, as far as I can tell, is in the lead group. Not like the top line is doing anything. It's true. It's true. We're gonna need somebody to break it up, somebody to try and make a third line, and then shit might start moving. That'll give those cars on the bottom lane an opportunity to do something. Well, speaking of, from second place to the outside goes TJ. And to come across the lead, lap 171. It is the 45. Rookie impatience. I mean, a little bit. I'd say taking the white flag as the leader is not the spot you want to be in, which of course Evo has already seen. This area is making some progress. Pink car on the outside's got help from Gundy, the teammate. However, Gundy, the first car, one lap down. Feel for that car too, because it was it had some problems. Again, lap 2 of last year's Daytona 500, when the 48 and Austin's 4 collided. And just never really got that season back on track. Gonna be a tough start to the year for the rookie in Oraman. LW Wright's the slow one. Is that really all that shocking? Because, yeah, that middle lane not going much of anywhere with TBNR cars your leader. On the bright side, in terms of those cars that did get screwed by $sign early, the ones that are just 2 laps down and back with no chance, at least there's not really any true chatters in there. And Red Wing screwed himself running it out of gas. Miss Airy is leading the outside lane. Wouldn't be too surprised if you see somebody from the middle pop up in there, try and get something rolling. RFK has been a factor, but pretty much only with TBNR cars in the 89 that leads this race right now. I mean, Gundy's been a lap down for a long while. Miss Airy was a lap down for a long time. And then John Force. It's hard to say if John Force's performance might be due to the damage on the rear bumper. I'm not sure he's still carrying that. This will be a good look. And he sure is. Yeah, somebody hit him pretty hard. I can't imagine that that's doing him any favors. But speaking of, does Dale Earnhardt Jr. still have that front end damage? Kind of tough to see from here, but I would imagine he does, and yes. Now, they might have worked on that a little bit. It doesn't look as caved in as it did previously. To the front of the field, we are taking 25 laps to go in the Daytona 500. With TBNR cars your leader. The rookie in TJ sitting second, your champion from a year ago of the series, and Pat third. But by the end of these last 25 laps, I certainly think that this running order is going to shake up. Just about a guarantee at this stage. Speaking of stages, reminder of your stage winners today. Smee, who got off to a good start, not going to be a great result for him, it doesn't appear. TBNR cars, the winner of stage 2, that ended early due to caution. Yellow sunset looming over the Daytona International Speedway. As cars continues to lead, everybody kind of behaving themselves right now. laps to go in the Daytona 500, and all the talk about LW Wright, he's made his way to the front. Perhaps LW is just waiting his time out. Now still, way too early to really think about trying to lead this thing and try and lead it to the end, I say, is Evo, who we're all kind of rooting for in one way or another, takes this top spot. But we're getting racy in here. We got some lap down cars to worry about as well. Gundy in the 28, third in line in the middle, not for position. Sterling Marlin hasn't been much of a factor all day. Speaking of not a factor all day, it's not Evo. Where did he go? Travis Pastrana, looking to do it again. That is a 3-time NASCAR Chat Series winner, new look, and a new manufacturer in the 67 that Travis ran in the Daytona 500 this year. And he'll run that all year long. But where the fuck did he come from? Goodness Lord. Back to the lead with 18 laps to go. TV at our cars with Evo on the outside lane. LW Wright now second in line on the inside. And how about Austin with the recovery drive after not being able to pit or missing his box or whatever he did? The 19 is in here with a chance. What are we doing out here? Your pole sitter. Almost 3 hours ago, in Squid has made his way back to the front in the Red Bull number 1. The 28 drops to the bottom, not for position. Sterling Marlin in the Silver Bullet, your leader. And just look at the cycle, because somebody we just talked about in the top 10 is looking to take the lead here. That'd be Austin in the 19, leading the outside lane with 17 to go. That would not at all be surprising. You're on the lead lap right now, you're in it with a chance. Except Gundy. That right now, barring a yellow flag, is not gonna happen. Of course, in the case of Sterling Marlin, if you've watched NASCAR long enough, the 40, around about this spot on the racetrack during a red flag in the 2002 Daytona 500, got out of his car to try and pull out a fender, and, well, NASCAR officials saw that, and he went to the back. His chances of winning the Daytona 500 again were over. But he leads it here late. Squid pulls out to the outside looking for help. His Toyota counterpart, Travis Pastrana, in the 67. Yeah. Oh, you can't do that! Yeah. Well, that happened the year prior, but yes, that did happen too. If you haven't seen the Dale Jr. download episode of Sterling Marlin where they kind of talk about that, that's a good watch too. And all the best to Sterling. I know he's battling Parkinson's, I believe. $15 to go and clear of the lap down car of Gundy is Squid. He's got a knack for winning the crown jewels. Won the Southern 500 last year. It's a Twitch Chat Indianapolis 500 champ. Won the Mazda MX-5 series that we did. The Ken Schrader one is, the Ken Schrader one's all time. You don't even have to listen to the whole thing. Just listen to the story about the week. Just do that. Miss Airy has cracked the top 10 and is making things happen. laps to go from Daytona. And as we said before, everybody should have enough to make it to the end of this race, if they put enough fuel in it. Outside lane not doing too much with Pastrana there right now. And a lane that includes Dale Earnhardt Jr. with that front end damage. Been worried about that car all day. It seems to be an okay pusher, but it took the lead once with that damage and then never really had a chance to keep it. Now, you don't really keep the lead for all that long here at Daytona anyway. But man, it was immediate as soon as he didn't have somebody pulling him along. Which makes sense. The front of that car is just a big old parachute right now. Well, shield your eyes. 3-time winner and winner of the last 2 races in last year's NASCAR Chat Series, Travis Pastrana has taken the lead of the Daytona 500. Joe Nemechek in the 87. A lap down, trying to make something happen. 4 wide. Nemechek, Ash Smead, I think the 32. Are we going to get out of that all clean? I think we have. That got scary. 4 wide at Talladega, not as big of a deal. 4 wide at Daytona, no room for error. About to enter 10 laps to go. Squid, your leader. Pastrana second. Evo sits third. It's been a long day. That is about to reach its conclusion. To the line to take 10 to go. And officially, that'll be no more debris yellows, as that was the cutoff right there. So now we're 3 wide for the lead. Now we just settle down and race it to the end. Evo's up here with a chance. Hey, 10 laps at Daytona, plenty of time as we're 3 wide much of the way through the pack. You can tell this race is getting near its end, eh? Everybody going hard. 24 gets us inside 10 laps to go. I don't want to make it seem like I'm pulling for Evo more than anybody else. A first-time winner at all would be a cool thing to see. Pastrana gonna jump out of line. Evo might get freight trained a little bit here. He's got the lap down car of Gundy to at least make sure he doesn't drop back too far right now. And look at the push from the inside lane to keep the 24 out in front. Late race at Daytona, it just seems that this 24 is up here. Second in last year's Daytona 500. Second in the August race. Budweiser shootout winner from this year. And last year's Budweiser shootout winner in Gundy jumps to the outside, and again, not for position. So we have 2 Hendrick Chevrolets at the front of the field with 8 laps to go. However, Pastrana got a good tow from the 28. Is it enough to clear Evo? Not yet. Evo making a move. Trying to get around the lapped car. The 14 of D. Kuzmic has made a move to the outside, and nobody went with him. the 14, dropping all the way to the back. So now Evo back down to the bottom. Got a push from Pastrana. We'll see if Pastrana's got anything. Or if that outside lane at all has anything. Ash is making her way back up the pack. Up back into 8th place. And still time. That inside lane moving a good bit. And we're kind of breaking up a little bit here. I don't know if somebody checked up or what the case is. Look at the run for everybody on the bottom. Evo leads. Gundy sets the pick on the outside. That's John Force leading that group. However, now the 28 helps the 16 of John Force to the front of the field. Tell you what, I don't hate Evo's spot right now. Just follow it. That 28. Now getting in front of it's not a bad idea either. Jumping out of line, gonna need that outside lane to get a push here quick. And they do. 5 laps to go in the Daytona 500. So the 24 will drop back down to the bottom as the shuffle between the 28 and the 24 continues. I am just terrified of pain for Evo again, man. Now that 28 being mixed in is kind of helping him, in a way. It's keeping everybody else out of there. It's just those two just shuffling, not for the lead. I mean, it's not for position, but it's kind of keeping it. No! No! To the pit lane as we take 4 laps to go. Oh, I didn't think it was going to be that kind of pain. Well, hold everything. How much does anybody have? Now, I know the 24 led for a long time. I didn't think he led for long enough that it was going to be that painful. John Force, your leader as we enter 3 and 4. Ken Schrader gonna nose it out in front. Does anybody else have to come down the pit lane before this race ends? At least not here with 4 to go. Outside lane powering through. Yo Gamer will take the top spot. He's looking for his first NASCAR Chat Series win. Jordo pulls into second. And Lucas, who's looking for his first win, in third as well. Haven't talked about him in a while. Jordo to the outside, no help. Gotta get freight trained here a little bit. She'll get picked up by Pastrana. Squid trying to make a third line around the outside. 2 to go in the 500. Yo Gamer and Lucas at the front. Watch out for that outside lane. They're putting a good chunk of cars together. Jordo thought about bouncing up there with TB on our cars. A lap and a half to go in the Great American Race, and Lucas pulls out to the front. It's just the help of Sterling Marlin enough, though. Oh, problems, big problems. We take the white flag. I don't know if somebody ran it out of gas or what the case is. But now this is the finish of the Daytona 500. Lucas pulls out in front. The Hooters number 10 in its first race, looking to get it done. The 56 goes to the outside with help from Ken Schrader. He'll pull to the bottom. Schrader looking good. Does Lucas have a run? we come to the finish of the Daytona 500. Yo Gamer and Lucas at the line. It'll be Yo Gamer with his first NASCAR Chat Series win to win the 2026 Daytona 500. Talked about it. He did not want to race. He did not want to stage. And the 56 finally gets it done. Your top 10 at the end of this thing. Lucas in second again. Ken Schrader, Jeff with a strong 4th place finish. Sterling Marlin, Ash 6th, John Force 7th, Austin with a top 10. The defending 500 champion in Jordo in 9th, and Aiden rounds out the top 10. So we'll ride along with TV in our cars and listen for what we suspect that in the middle of the lane, the 89 runs out of gas, and that was very much the case. Certainly had a say in the finish of this one. And I'm gonna assume that this is the car that we see parked on the back straightaway when we were coming around, and yeah, 89 definitely out of gas, dropping it down to the apron. Broke up that whole middle lane. So here we go for Front Row Joe. And it was kind of, it looks like it might have been the same deal as what we saw earlier. 3 wide down the pit lane. And who does it? TJ just took him flat out. So that is going to be a forfeiture of qualifying position for the 45 for our second race at Atlanta. All right, well, our second ever NASCAR Chat Series Daytona 500 is in the books, and it is the 56 of Yo Gamer for the very first time winning a NASCAR Chat Series race. It is another first-time winner, and we hope that we're going to see a good bit of that throughout the course of this year. 14 points-paying races and the All-Star race are what we have to look forward to. And I do think you're seeing the pass for the lead for the 56 right now, and he never relinquished it again. And yeah, we should actually be able to, if I go, hopefully that didn't, hopefully me doing this doesn't, Yo Gamer is your Daytona 500 champion. We will see you again in the NASCAR Chat Series in a couple weeks. It was supposed to be Las Vegas. It'll now be Atlanta, as Las Vegas mega broke it. So another drafting track. I'll have points and most laps and fastest lap out for you at some point. But for now, that does it. NASCAR Chat Series Daytona 500 winner. Okay.